Hey there guys, Spexy here, welcoming you one and all to another piping hot slice of gaming history. This video is the third in the series exploring the Avengers and their appearance through video game history from start to endgame. Well, not actually endgame, but up until the release of each character's MCU movie debut at least. So I have already delved into the back and beyond and pulled back the info on both Iron Man and the Hulk, and if you haven't seen those two videos, then why not go and take a peep, you might enjoy them. So just who is the third mighty superhero that I will be taking a look at in this series? Well, let me tell you that he is a literal god among men, and as such deserves a special introduction. Bear with me on this though guys, I'm no Gaming Muso, but I will try my best.
I see a little silhouette of a god.
Summon moose, and a can of cold tango. Thunderbolt, lightning, very, very lightning. Thor.
Yes, the undisputed God of Thunder himself, based of course on the pantheon of Norse mythology, created for Marvel Comics by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, and who first appeared in Journey into Mystery number 83 in 1962. The mighty Thor. Well, although he may be a mighty god and a mighty superhero for that matter, you might not be so mightily impressed with his number of video game outings over the years. However, to fill in any voids in today's video, I'll also be taking a look at a few of the supporting Avengers who themselves do not get many mentions on the gaming front, and also I'll be giving a nod to a friend of mine on Discord, a certain Lion Secret, for pointing out that I not only missed a game in the last two episodes, but in fact a whole gaming system, so keep watching to find out a little more about that. So getting back to Thor then, what and when exactly was his first gaming appearance? Well, it's a game that's already had one mention in this series so far, and we'll be getting at least one more. It's Avengers in Galactic Storm in 1995, the 2D versus fighting arcade game by Data East, in which Thor appears technically twice. I know, right? Let me explain. So firstly, the game, as previously discussed in the Iron Man episode, was one of, if not the first, to introduce the assist character mechanic, enabling you to call for a little support mid-fight for some tag team battering. So looking at the list of support characters for this, selectable at the start of each stage, you can clearly see the bewinged helmet of the mighty Thor there, meaning that Thor himself is not actually playable in this game. However, here's the twist. In the main roster of selectable characters is a lesser known Marvel superhero called Thunderstrike, who in the comics is Eric Masterson, a supporting character in Thor comics since issue 391 in 1988. So why do I say then that Thor appears twice here? Well, in issue 408, Masterson and Thor become one, with Masterson playing Thor's alter ego from then until 432, at which point Masterson assumes the role of Thor and stays in role as that character until 1993 and issue 459, after which he was given his own short-running comic Thunderstrike, which ran for a mere 24 issues before being cancelled in 1995. Funnily enough, the very same year as the Avengers in Galactic Storm game release. Well done Data East on your excellent character choice. The next appearance of Thor in a video game came in 1998's Marvel vs. Capcom Clash of the Superheroes, the arcade game classic, also released for Dreamcast and PlayStation in 1999 and re-released much later for PS3 and Xbox 360. This game has been mentioned in all of the videos in this series so far, and quite honestly I don't mind at all because I absolutely love this game to bits. However, much like Data East in the last game, Capcom made the decision to include Thor only as an assist character to the main fighters at this time, and it would be some time yet until they eventually get around to fixing that. It's a shame really, seeing as Thor is such an awesome fighting machine.
Nay, God!
Yeah, okay mate, whatever you say, you're a god, we know. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to that part of the show which I am calling
Should Have Gone to Specs Savers.
See what I did there? So like I said earlier, I made the big mistake in the last two videos by not only missing a game from the list, but also a complete system, would you believe? As was clearly pointed out to me by Lion Secret on my Discord chat. Yeah, thanks for that. However, I feel that I can almost be forgiven for my mistake, as not only is this system particularly rare and mostly unheard of, but also it only had 1 year on sale between 2006 and 2007 before being pulled completely off the shelves for its horrendously poor quality and gameplay. All of which just makes me want one so much more. The system in question is the Mattel Hyperscan. Heard of it? If you live outside of the US, there's a very good chance that you haven't, as this machine was never released to my knowledge outside of the United States, but again, I may be wrong on this, don't shoot me.
Thor likes collector card games, and Jim likes video games. To make a truly great game, I was thinking you could combine them. Eh? I meant combine the games, not the kids!
The new Hyperscan video game system is here, featuring X-Men. It's where collectible card games meet video games. Scan your character, battle and gain power, rescan to save the power permanently back to your card. Hyperscan video game system with one controller and X-Men game pack. Other games coming soon, sold separately, rated E10 plus to teen. HyperscanGamePack.com.
This horrid little piece of folding plastic was aimed predominantly at the age 5 to 12 bracket, those not ready for a full-fledged gaming system just yet. It came with some then cutting-edge RFID technology to scan the collectible cards, which were available in separately sold booster packs to use within the games themselves. The tech itself should not be scoffed at, as it would go on to be utilised in its high-frequency NFC formats in actual successful gaming ventures like Skylanders and almost successful gaming ventures like Disney Infinity. Gotta say though guys, awesome figures. However, in the Hyperscan, it was not successful at all, mainly due to the poor quality and even poorer quantity of games available, with only 5 of them ever released. X-Men, Ben 10, Interstellar Wrestling League, Spider-Man and the game I miss, Marvel Heroes, featuring Iron Man, the Hulk, Thor and numerous other superheroes. The game required you to scan your collected cards to select not only your hero, but also the bad guys that you would fight along the way. Sounds like a reasonably fun idea, right? Wrong. It was a complete shambles. A side-scrolling beta with awful graphics, I mean just look at the animation, in particular the shadows, which don't animate at all. However, I have to say that the collectible cards themselves look great, with some awesome artwork to boot. So aside from the system being totally flawed and hardly ever working correctly, the terrible game lineup and general poor quality of the sound and visuals, all of which it's fair to say make the Hyperscan a total bag of shit, I just have to have one. So, moving on then, the next 2 games released in 2006 and 2009 are Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2, published by Activision and available on all major platforms at the time, plus re-released for some later consoles. Again, these have been mentioned in previous videos in the series, but for one very good reason. The roster of characters available to play in these titles is, to say the least, pretty bloody extensive. Thor, as you might imagine, is a total wonder to behold, and wielding the mighty Mjolnir, you get to bash the absolute bejesus out of just about anyone stupid enough to stand against a god. The game also featured honorary MCU Avengers Black Panther, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, Ant-Man and Captain Marvel, plus actual MCU Avengers Iron Man, the Hulk, Thor, Captain America, War Machine, Black Widow, Vision, Hawkeye and the S.H.I.E.L.D. boss Nick Fury. Hell, even Bucky Barnes makes an appearance as the Winter Soldier for one of the first level boss fights in the first game, and Quicksilver is one of the bosses of the second game. And, seeing as this is a Thor video, it would also be good to mention that Loki hasn't been left out here either, and shows up as a stage boss, whilst Odin, Heimdall and Valkyrie also make an appearance along the story arc. These games are a great way to let off some steam, totally awesome bash 'em at romps through enemy packed levels, giving even the most action hungry gamer something to chomp their maulers into. Go check them out.
The Son of Odin stands triumphant.
Now, the reason that this video is going on a little further than the last 2 is that Thor, the MCU movie, was released in 2011, so therefore, just like in the other videos, I am listing all of his games up to that point, hence we are treading into slightly newer territory here. So, in 2009 comes a rather child-friendly Marvel title, probably intended for kids but still quite a bit of fun, Marvel Superhero Squad by THQ. Released to coincide with the cartoon series of the same name, the game sees you playing as a number of cartoon-styled Marvel heroes, Thor included, in a multi-level 3D beat-em-up that feels a bit like a classic arcade side-scroll beater in gameplay. Think Final Fight or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Available for Wii, DS, PlayStation 2 and PSP, it's not a bad game by any means, and I'm sure with the childlike versions of the heroes on display here was an attempt by Marvel to make a game accessible at the entry level for younger players. I can remember playing through this game with my kids on the Wii and having an absolute blast. They then followed this up with Marvel Superhero Squad The Infinity Gauntlet, loosely based on the Infinity War comic series and offering much more of the same from the previous game. Again available for DS and Wii, however this time also available for the newer consoles, the PS3, 3DS and Xbox 360.
Oh, look at Tickle Thanos. Isn't he a cutie?
So, moving right along to 2010, and we see a game that's a little different from every other Marvel release I've mentioned so far. Yet it no less features Thor, along with many other Marvel superheroes too. Marvel Pinball by Zen Studios. Now, I love pinball, the real thing at least, and yet so many times computer pinball lets us down, falling so far short of the mark in terms of gameplay and ball physics that it's painful to watch, let alone play. But Zen Studios gets it right, bringing all of the butt-clenching tension of keeping your balls in play to a video game, and anyone familiar with Zen's Pinball FX series of games will know exactly what I mean. The game was released as an expansion pack for PC and Xbox 360 versions of Pinball FX 2 and as a standalone title for PS3. There are numerous tables to choose from here, with 4 starter tables, Wolverine, Spider-Man, Iron Man and Blade, plus many more available as DLC, including the one we want to talk about right here today, Thor. This table, along with all of them in the Marvel packs, provides a serious amount of fun. It's beautifully rendered, with so much attention to detail not only in the visuals but also the table mechanics and features. This is, as always for a Zen table, as close to the real thing as a computer or console can get.
Asgard reigns supreme.
If you like pinball, then I cannot recommend the Pinball FX games enough to you. If you're not a fan, then there's a very safe bet that it's not going to grab you by the balls. And so we enter the final year of today's video with 2 more games. Firstly, Capcom's amazing Marvel vs Capcom 3, seeing Thor make his debut in the series as a playable character at last. And what a character he is! With a whole new look and fully 3D rendered models, Marvel vs Capcom 3 did exactly what it had to reignite the series in style, and it is a great fighting game in my opinion.
You win!
The game is available for PS3, PS4, Xbox 360, Xbox One and PC. All of the beloved characters from the previous games make a welcome return here, with enough of their old moves that we remember, now beautifully rendered, but also with a few new tricks up their sleeves. If you couldn't tell already, I'm a big Capcom fan, which you will find out a lot more about in an upcoming video for the channel, so keep an eye out for that one.
I get the cover of the next Street Fighter for this, right, Capcom? Right?
And so, here we are, at last, Thor, God of Thunder, the official 2011 MCU movie game release.
And it's not particularly impressive at all. A less than convincing storyline with outdated visuals and sound, and even more laughable voice acting and dodgy controls, so as you can imagine by my description so far, not exactly fun. Okay, so you get to wield your hammer and smash up a few bad guys along the way, summoning lightning, earthquakes and whirlwinds, plus unlock a few extra moves here and there, but it's all done in a clunky, sluggish manner and doesn't excite at all. Maybe I was expecting too much from a movie tie-in, but I have to admit I wanted a little bit more from a game featuring the Norse god of such legendary status. It definitely doesn't live up to the hype, and considering Thor is the god of thunder, it didn't deliver anything that struck me, leaving only a dark storm cloud over my head and misery in my heart. Sorry Mr. Odinson, but it's true. So there you have it, my complete list of Thor games from 1995 to 2011 and the release of the MCU Thor movie. Don't forget, if you would like to show support for either or both of my channels, you can do so by becoming a patron. Even for as little as $1 a month, you could help the channels to grow and flourish. Or maybe you'd just like to buy an aging gaming nerd a nice warm cup of coffee, which you can also do on my Ko-fi page. Details on both of these, along with links to my Discord and Twitter, can be found in the description below. If you've enjoyed this video, then why not spank the hell out of that thumbs up button, and don't forget to subscribe for more retro goodness. I've been Spexy, you've been electrifying, and I look forward to looking backwards with you again in the next episode. See you soon, bye for now.